Welcome to Nerd on Nerd with me, Jack Kempster.
And me, Liam Underwood. And in this episode, we will be discussing Nameless, a suggestion from Jack this week.
Why point out that it's me? Right, you didn't like it, and you're pinning the blame.
I want people to... if people read this and enjoyed this, I want them to know who to thank.
You're a dickhead.
What?
Carry on.
What do you mean? No, what's wrong with that?
Are you denying that you're a dickhead?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Because clearly, Liam, you didn't enjoy Nameless, and you want people, in your head you're going, people aren't going to have enjoyed this, so I'm going to blame it on Jack as early as I can.
I don't think people will have bothered to have read this.
No, but there are people that will have read it and will have opinions.
I think that people that would have already read this would have probably liked it.
How does that make any sense?
Well, maybe that's a little hint as to how much I enjoyed it, perhaps.
Now it's time for Liam's favourite part of the show, catching up with Jack and Liam.
With me, Liam.
And me, Jack.
What have you been up to then?
I've not been up to much, Liam.
No?
I've been working a lot, so I haven't actually had a lot of time to myself.
Well, after your little vacation in the hot tub, maybe it's about time you got some work done.
Go fuck yourself, mate.
No, but work's been going well, yeah?
Oh, yeah, wonderfully.
Yeah, I know you've been working late a couple of nights, and because you enjoy your job so much, that's probably quite like a nice little treat for you, really.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Who doesn't want to work for 48 hours in a row and then fall asleep at their desk?
Yeah. I have some questions about this.
Yeah, dude. I'm sure there'll be the same questions that everyone's asked me, and also probably the same questions that I want answered.
Let's go through those questions. What have you been asked?
I have been asked, when you woke up at 11 in the morning, did anyone on your desk say anything to you? The answer to that is no. No one commented on the fact that I had been asleep at my desk until I went to go home at like 1 in the afternoon.
Right, and then someone commented?
They just went, oh, did you work all night then? Which makes me think they didn't realise I was asleep at my desk.
Wow.
Like, that's the thing, I don't understand. Because I was sitting up, it's not like, I don't think I'd fallen over or anything.
Yeah, you weren't like sort of sprawled on a keyboard.
No, I might have had my head on my arms maybe, but I don't really, I literally woke up so confused that I don't really remember what I was doing.
Okay.
But yeah, it's weird, right?
Yeah, no, that's weird, because you would think, like, if you were there in the morning, like, as people would have come in, they'd have been like, morning, Jack.
Yeah, because we all say good morning to each other, all that stuff.
Yeah.
You'd imagine someone would have asked me something and I didn't reply, and then they must have known I was asleep. I can't... Like, imagine... I don't feel bad about being asleep. I want to clarify. I don't feel bad about being asleep. I was there for 48 hours, so...
Yeah, that's...
quite reasonable that I had fallen asleep.
Imagine if you'd been dead, though. Like, how long would it have taken them to figure that out?
Like 3 days, and they're like, Jesus, Jack's still asleep at his desk.
And there's a weird smell starting to happen. Yeah, that's not good. So
waking up and telling me she'd go shower. Yeah, no, it's weird, right? I don't know. But go on, what are your questions then? I mean, that's the main one that I have been trying to figure out.
Yeah, so I would like to know why you had to work for 48 hours.
Because a graphic that I was doing was going up.
Yeah.
After the 48 hours, and it kept getting changed, which is common in what I do.
To be expected, right?
Yeah, but it got delayed, had changes done, so then I had to sit there and try and work out these changes, make sure everything was working on our site, because it works in a different way than we usually do.
Yeah.
It was just hell.
Okay. My next question is, like, 48 hours is like 2 full days, right?
Yeah, I woke up at 7:15 on Tuesday.
Right.
And I fell asleep at my desk at 7:15 Thursday. No. Yeah, 7:15 Thursday.
So, again, let's figure it out. So you started on Tuesday.
Yep.
Worked all through Tuesday night.
Yeah, I came home. It must have been Wednesday to Friday.
Okay, so you started Wednesday.
Yeah.
You worked all through Wednesday night.
I came home Wednesday night.
Yeah.
But then when I was sitting at my desk doing work at home, because I was like, I've got some stuff that I need to finish, so I'll just do it at home because it'll be easier.
Of course.
Then at 4 in the morning, I was like, I think I might be doing this all night.
Yeah.
So then went into work, stayed at work, did work.
So this is Thursday now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then everyone went home.
Yeah.
Then I stayed there.
Yeah.
And then at about 3 in the morning, I finished my work.
And you thought, time for a little sleep?
Or was it 3? No, it might have been 4. It was something ridiculous, like some moment of time. No, see, I didn't think I need to sleep. It was like at 4 in the morning, I was like, oh no, it can't have been 4. No, it must have been like 6. Dude, I think it was like 6 in the morning. Because I remember thinking, there's no point me getting a night bus now.
Yeah.
Because that'll be an hour. and I know that I need to talk to people because they were basically I'd done everything I could without them there.
Yeah.
Like the guys that wanted the graphic, there was like a couple of bits that I was like, what do you want me to do with this? I can't see a solution. You need to tell me what you want.
Okay.
So I was like, well, I'll just stay here. I'll watch YouTube. I'll play on my DS because Pokemon had just come out and I was playing that.
Of course, and we'll be talking more about that in a future episode, won't
exactly.
we? So, let's tease. Dangle the carrot. Come back for that.
Oh, maybe we'll talk about Pokemon. Ooh, sometime. But then,
maybe.
So I was doing that.
There was a crystal ball. Yeah.
I was doing that, and then I was getting so tired. Like, I've never done 48 hours before. And honestly, the things that were happening, like, at one point I was like, oh, I need to get up and just walk around to, like...
Yeah. Just have a stretch.
Try and stay awake. I have never had it before where when I'm walking, I'm so tired that I can feel myself falling asleep whilst moving.
That's probably not healthy.
Yeah, I was like, oh, this is bad. I need to go back to my desk and sit down. And then next thing I know, it's 11 in the morning and everyone's there.
That must have been really this kind of...
it was so mad. Dude, I was literally just like... I could hear people talking, and I looked over and I was like, oh, everyone's in. And then I looked at my watch and I was like, oh, it's 11. What? What's happened?
I mean, it doesn't sound like the best of times, to be honest.
It wasn't, Liam, I'll be honest with you. It wasn't the best of times.
But, Christmas is coming.
Yep, that's true. I don't know how that bears on the working, but yep.
Well, no, because obviously you like Christmas.
I love Christmas, Liam.
So that's going to kind of make it a bit easier, isn't it, really, all this work?
Yeah, well, so long as you don't make me watch any shitty films like Christmas Evil.
Mm.
Oh, which you will be. Fine, god damn you.
Hey. Have no follow-up.
Fair enough.
You might like this one. Hey, this is the unwritten rule with Nerd on Nerd, is we go into all of these things with an open mind.
I haven't been told what I'm watching yet. I'm allowed to be as negative as I want until you announce what we're doing, and then I will be neutral.
And open-minded.
Yep.
If anything, hopeful for the best, I think.
I mean, that is primarily what it is. I want you to give me a good Christmas film because I love Christmas so much.
What makes a good Christmas film?
You know what? I'm not sure.
Maybe that's something that we can ponder on a future Christmas special episode.
We'll do a special episode called What Makes a Good Christmas Film?
Let's do that. All right.
Where two idiots tell you what they think makes a good Christmas film.
I could tell you the answer right here, right now, Jack.
I don't know if you could.
I could. It's literally everything that's in Die Hard.
Now, see, okay, so here's my thing. I love saying Die Hard's a great Christmas film, and it is. It's a perfect Christmas film. It's wonderful.
Yes.
It's not a Christmas film, though. It is a Christmas film in that it takes place at Christmas. You can watch it at Christmas. I have no issue. I love watching it at Christmas. I think it's great. But it isn't in the Christmas genre. It's a Christmas time film where you can watch it at Christmas, and it takes place over Christmas, but it is not a Christmas genre film.
It is a Christmas genre film.
No, it isn't. There's no Santa in it.
So by that logic, right,
Mm-hmm.
It's a Wonderful Life, which is widely regarded as one of the
Never
best...
seen it.
Still, you've heard of it, right?
Is Santa in it?
No.
Then it's not a Christmas film.
So, to be a Christmas film, it has to have Santa.
I'm only saying that because I want to see how many people I can annoy.
I think a lot.
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to think, like, how many Christmas films actually have Santa in?
Quite a lot.
I mean, did the
Santa Claus 1, 2 and 3 have Santa in it?
Do they, though?
Yeah, I'm not saying actual Santa Claus. Is a Santa Claus in it?
Oh, just a Santa Claus?
Yeah. Like, Elf has a Santa in it, and
Bad
the real Santa, I guess. Bad Santa has a Santa Claus in it.
Does it have to be like a person?
Ooh. Do you mean like an inflatable Santa?
Yeah. Or like a statue, or like a model drawing, even.
I'm not sure.
What about a Santa saying?
If someone goes ho ho ho.
Yeah, because that is in Die Hard.
Yeah, now I remember that.
So, Santa's presence is felt.
Alright, it's back in the genre.
Hooray! I've saved Die Hard and therefore Christmas.
Congratulations, Liam.
Thank you. So next week we're doing a Christmas. Well, not next week. Next episode we're doing a Christmas special for you lucky listeners.
Yeah.
So get the mince pies ready. I like a good mince pie. But before we get to all that, we're sort of skipping ahead a little bit, aren't we?
Yeah, you haven't told me what you've done in the last 2 weeks.
Because I haven't really done a lot, Jack.
Neither have I. Come up with something, mate. Bullshit.
I have unpacked more stuff.
How's that going?
It's not terrible. I prioritised. I've got all my films out now.
Yep.
So they're looking pretty good. Didn't realise how many there are in my to-watch pile.
How many?
I did a rough calculation. Basically, I counted one shelf and then times it by the amount of shelves there are.
Yeah. So the bad thing already, just before you tell me the number, the bad thing about that, Liam, is if you have to do maths to figure out how many films you've got to watch, that's not good.
No. It's over 700.
That's too many.
And I opened up a new box, which had more films in that have to be added to the to-watch pile. Also, I did buy 4 more films today.
How have you got to that number of films to watch?
So, I'll tell you how, Jack. It's very simple. I was going to HMV.
Yep.
And I go, I really want to see this one film. Like, this one specific film. And then I find it, and lo and behold, it's only in a bloody 5 for 30 deal, and you would be a fool, an absolute fool, to not capitalise on a deal like that. So suddenly, I've gone to HMV for one film, I now have to find an additional 4.
Yep, sure.
Do that a few times, it starts adding up. Amazon have deals on, they're cracking sometimes. I got 2 Blu-rays that I wanted, that were on my wish list, just a little bit over £6 for 2 new Blu-rays.
That's ridiculous. Now, Liam, I've just done a little bit of quick maths of my own here.
Yeah.
I don't want this to hurt you.
Let's not do math.
No, it's fun maths, because I feel like me and the listeners will enjoy hearing this.
Right.
So I did a little bit of maths. I did 700 divided by 5.
Yeah. So
I broke all of those films that you haven't watched into 5, Liam. And then we did 5 for 30. So I did 140 times 30, Liam. Yeah. Now, this is how much money you have effectively wasted by not watching these films.
Yeah.
It's 4,200, Liam.
Hey, do you know what's really, really upsetting about all that?
The number?
No, but like the 5 for 30 don't make up all of it. Like I have a lot of steelbooks.
Some are more expensive.
And they're like 10 to 15 quid a pop.
So this is like the minimum it could ever possibly be.
Yeah, that's really...
Liam, this is real bad.
So, my name is Liam, and I have a problem.
I think you might. It was just the fact that you said, and you'd be a fool not to get the 5 for 30. And I was like, well, I think you might have been a fool.
No. You would be. It's a great deal, Jack. It's a great deal.
No, but it is a good deal if you watch the films.
Look, here's the thing. It's not like they're never going to get watched. They're there, ready and waiting, when the mood strikes.
I think we need a new segment.
Which is?
What we should do is, I'll keep this total, and you tell me when you get through one of those films or when you add to that pile, and we'll keep track of the total that you've wasted on films until you've watched them all.
100% the issue is, like, I do not watch as many as I pick up.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So this is wasted money.
So you're asking, how do you get to 700? It's real easy. You do the 5 for 30, you watch the one that you went to go and get, and those additional 4 just pile up.
Do you ever accidentally buy duplicates?
No, I'm pretty good at knowing what I've got.
I mean, that's quite impressive by itself.
Yeah, I think so. Speaking of films, though, the other thing they've started doing in HMV now, this isn't a plug, HMV don't sponsor us, unfortunately, but
yep, that's true.
You know, it's what I've been doing with my life, so it counts. They started doing this 3 for 25 deal with some newer films.
Okay.
And I wanted to recommend one of the films to you that I watched recently. Because I did this deal. I picked up a film called Victoria, which I haven't got around to watching yet.
Okay.
I watched The Boy, which was also in this deal, which it was a Lauren Cohan film.
Oh, all right.
She's Maggie in The Walking Dead.
Yep.
And it's about this weird, like, porcelain doll thing.
Oh, okay.
I've seen trailers for it.
It sort of rings a bell when you said it. I was like, ooh.
It wasn't bad. It honestly wasn't bad. But then, like, the last, 15 minutes sort of weren't very good. But the movie I want to talk about, the third in this 3 for 25, was a film called Anomalisa.
Okay.
Now, it's a, like puppetry of sorts. Like stop motion animation, right?
Yep.
It's like that, which I'm not normally a big fan of. I just feel like it takes so long. Why not just fucking film someone do it?
Right.
Like, it honestly, stop motion animation pisses me off, to be honest.
Jesus Christ.
It's so frustrating. Because you're watching it, and like sometimes you'll notice little glitches here and there where, like, you know, they've moved something very slightly but something else has been brushed. And that's annoying. And then you just think, it probably took you a week to animate this one character just like walking into a room. Just fucking film someone. You're done in 10 seconds, mate.
Wallace and Gromit would have been a lot more shit if it was live action.
I'm not a big fan of Wallace and Gromit.
Not a big fan, did you say?
Yeah, it doesn't really tickle my bows.
You need to fuck right off.
Well, anyway, Anomalisa, stop motion animation. It's directed by Charlie Kaufman, I think.
That means nothing to me.
I thought it might be. Obviously, we have other listeners who are a bit more switched on.
Yep.
Yeah, it's Charlie Kaufman. That's good. You might know Charlie Kaufman. It's not like it's his first time film. He also did Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Minds.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Yeah. Honestly, Jack, I would love for you to watch this film and give your opinion on a future episode.
What is it? Why are you suggesting it to me?
Because I really enjoyed it, and especially considering I despise this animation style.
Yeah, that's quite impressive.
I was just blown away by it. And it also helps the listeners understand that sometimes Liam's mind can be changed.
Yeah, when Liam goes out and finds something in a deal and is forced to watch it and then has to convince himself it's good because he's got so many fucking films anyway.
No, but genuinely, I want your opinion on it because I want to talk to you about it. But I don't want to say too much about what it's about because I don't want to spoil anything.
Okay, well, I'll get it watched.
Yeah, thank you. Maybe like a little sort of bonus, like catching up with bonus, you know? Like a little sexy bonus for our listeners.
Sure.
Thank you. I went to the cinema.
Oh?
You'll never believe it. It's only time for bloody Liam went to the cinema, and now it's his spoiler-free reviews of the things that he saw at the cinema.
Go on. What did you go and see, Liam?
I went to 2 unlimited screenings in the last 2 weeks. Now,
what does that mean?
For those that don't understand, my local cinema, you can get like what's called an unlimited card, which is what I have, and that lets you go to films and you don't have to like pay, essentially. Like you pay for the card, but you don't pay to see each film.
Yeah.
And what they sometimes do, if you have these cards, is they'll do like advanced showings, like a few days before the film actually comes out.
Oh, okay, that's quite cool.
So take, for example, the new Disney animation film Moana, which I believe came out this weekend in the UK. I went to see it last Saturday.
Ooh!
And the reason why this is so damn good is because I do not like children in the cinema.
Yeah, I think we know that from past.
Yes, and obviously you cannot go to a film like Moana and grumble at the fact that there's children in cinema. It's made for them.
Yeah.
Also, if it was just me sat there, I would look weird. So, absolutely perfect for this sort of thing. And I have to say, I don't know if you know too much about the film, but it's sort of like Hawaiian set, has like that sort of vibe to it. It has Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson doing a voice. Super good, Jack.
Well, I'm glad, because I really want to see that one.
Yeah, some of the songs were like written by Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Oh, cool.
Really catchy. Like, they're real like earworms. I'd say they're the sort of songs that maybe like, you'll listen to the first time, and you'll be like, it was good, and then you'll just find it stuck in your head, and you'll be like, I'll listen to it again, and then you're fucked. You're down a rabbit hole of listening to the whole soundtrack.
How many times have you listened to the whole soundtrack now?
So many. And what I like as well is like if you're familiar with Lin-Manuel Miranda, you can really tell that like it has some of his signature sort of song styles in these songs, and it works really well.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah, just beautifully animated. There's an amazing sequence with Jermaine from Flight of the Conchords does one of the voices. There's just honestly, I would recommend 4 out of 5. Probably, let's say I'm gonna be bold. Film of the week. That's not really a section
high.
that we do. No, for me, 4 out of 5 is really good.
No, I mean, but film of the week isn't exactly impressive because you go to the cinema so often.
Yeah, so that's good, right?
I mean, it's good, but it's not like you said you're going out on a limb. It's not like a huge accomplishment for them.
What do you mean?
But you're not.
That's a new honour. Like we haven't done film of the week before. That's how good it is. Right. It gets its own little like film of the week thing that we don't normally do.
All right, I guess that's more impressive than I was giving it credit for.
Exactly.
Apologies, Liam.
That's quite alright. It's not me you have to apologise to. It's the film.
No.
Also, you're going to have to maybe cut this bit. But you know how like sometimes you say that you're attracted to like animated characters.
Who says that?
You.
Yeah.
It's the first time when I kind of understood where you're coming from.
The girl in it.
Yeah. Problem.
How old is she?
Well, she's animated.
What was that? Yeah, she still has an age.
16?
Ooh, legal, but not okay.
Yeah, I know. But, like, animated. Like, they could animate her to be a couple of years older and it'd be fine.
Sure, Liam, sure.
Like, you might want to cut that.
Oh, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. But, you know, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is just sublime.
Yeah, is he good at voice? Has he done voice acting before?
I think he might have done. He's primarily known as a wrestler.
Well, I don't know if he is anymore, really.
I mean, that's where he started, I guess.
That's where he started, but I think now people would, if you said Dwayne The Rock Johnson, they wouldn't immediately think you were going to talk to them about wrestling.
That's true, because he's been in some cracking films.
Yeah, he's also just known as an actor now, right? Like, I mean it in, like, if someone said to me, oh,
Yeah.
you know Dwayne The Rock Johnson, I'd be like, oh, we're going to have a talk about a film.
I feel like he is possibly the only wrestler that's successfully made that transition.
Yeah, I don't know enough about
Like, I know
wrestlers.
Hulk Hogan did quite a few films back in his heyday, but I would still predominantly associate him with wrestling.
Yeah.
So, next film,
Yes.
Bleed for This. Do you know anything about that?
No.
It's a
I didn't even
boxing-
know you'd said the film title. I assumed you were telling me something.
No, it's called Bleed for This.
Oh, I thought you said lead for this without a B.
No, Bleed for
Gotcha.
This.
Not sure. Feel like I might have maybe seen the name of it, or maybe you've mentioned it to me, maybe.
It's a boxing movie.
Oh, I saw you tweeting about it on our Twitter.
Yeah, and what's quite nice about this, right, is at the start of this year, I got into boxing films. I went to go see Creed, and I watched all the Rocky films leading up to it. I'd only ever seen the first Rocky film before, like years ago, like probably like a decade ago or so. And I didn't really dig it, and then I watched it again at the start of this year because I wanted to go see Creed, and I have to do my things in order, and loved it. So I watched all the sequels, and I went to see Creed, and then I watched Southpaw. So like I started the year with a lot of boxing, and it was nice to. It was like a nice little way to like bookend the year.
You started with boxing, you're finishing with boxing.
Yeah, I also recently picked up Raging Bull, which is considered like up there with Rocky as one of the like pinnacles in boxing movies.
Yes,
So-
I know of that film, which is
Yeah.
quite an accomplishment.
So Bleed for This stars Miles Teller, who I think is fantastic,
Yep.
and also Aaron Eckhart in like a supporting role, who is just so good. Like the physical transformation he's done for this film is very impressive in a way that's completely opposite to the physical transformation that Miles Teller's done for the film. Which I would even say, like, Miles Teller, as much as I like him, in this film, he doesn't have that, like, physical presence that you get from, like, Stallone in Rocky or even Michael B. Jordan in Creed.
Yeah.
So the only thing about Bleed for This, I will say, is it's a biopic film. So if you know of the actual boxer that it's about, you're probably going to have a good idea how this film goes. But I knew nothing about him.
Who is the boxer that it's about?
Vincent Pazienza. But yeah, no, it was you know, I didn't know how the film was going, so I enjoyed it, but it didn't have like any sort of one moment that really stood out and elevated it. It was fine, 3 out of 5. You know, I enjoyed myself when I was there, but nothing hugely stood out.
Yeah, that's fair enough, Liam.
And then the last film, right, so you know me, Jack. Even people that listened to last week's episode will know that I love my coming-of-age films.
Yes.
Can't get enough of them. Gobble them up like a Christmas turkey. And there was a new one out at the cinema, so obviously I had to go and see it. The Edge of 17.
Okay, I've heard of that one too, I think.
It stars Hayley Steinfeld.
I don't know who that is.
She's brilliant. Oh, also, Woody Harrelson is in it.
I know him.
Yeah, he is superb. Thing is, it's a fine film. It's absolutely fine. But the main character, like, while Hayley Steinfeld is absolutely superb, the main character isn't the most likable. And I get that, like, if you're trying to accurately portray a 17-year-old, they're probably not going to be the most likable. So, like, I totally get what they're trying to do with it. It just, a lot of it felt like, you know when you're a teenager and everything just seems way too dramatic, and it's just because you're making it that dramatic in your head?
Yeah.
You know, like we probably didn't do that so much, but if we were like teenage girls, you know...
I have a brother and sister, I'm aware.
Yeah, exactly. So it very much, like, by the end of the film, it did just feel like this was a movie essentially just about how this character approaches stuff, like, I don't want to say wrong, but in that very teenagey way.
Okay.
So...
But I mean, I guess that's a good thing in that it's accurate.
Yeah, it's accurate, but it doesn't necessarily make for the most enjoyable of films.
Fair enough.
Like, there's a few funny moments and stuff, but by the end of it, you are just like... I think, like, my takeaway was, I'm pleased I'm not 17 anymore. Which possibly isn't, like, the best thing to go away from a film thinking.
Well, maybe that's what they were aiming for, Liam.
No, entirely true. And if that's what they were aiming for, they knocked it out of the park. I just... You know, it didn't, like, sort of set my juices going like most coming-of-age films do. So, you know, 3 out of 5.
That's still fairly high.
Yeah, you know, for me, that's an average.
Yeah.
So... You know, you know, if you're going to go see one, go to see Moana. Just if you're like me and you don't like children, be wary because they're going to be there.
Be wary. They're kids. They're not going to like fucking attack you.
Well, you say that, but some of the experiences I've had in cinemas, they might as well have done.
Yeah, but you've never actually been attacked by a child. I'd like to make very clear to our listeners.
No, but I felt like they were ganging up on me.
Well, that's fine.
Yeah. But I'm not the only one that went to the cinema, am I?
No, that brings us quite nicely, Liam, onto Jack's been to the films, and he went and saw a film. And this time, he'll tell you about the film he saw, and he isn't going to spoil it.
Hooray!
I went to see, Liam,
Yes.
Sully.
Which I really want to see, because, you know, Tom Hanks, Love, directed by Clint Eastwood. You know, he's done some good stuff.
Yeah. Tom Hanks in it. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Like, he's a really good actor. He's incredible.
Yeah.
The film itself, it's got a really interesting middle bit.
Because it's based on a true story, isn't it?
It's based on that dude Sully, Captain Sully or something, who landed that plane on the Hudson River.
Yeah, because I think like the subtitle for this film is Miracle on the Hudson.
Yeah, which is what the newspapers were calling it around that when it happened.
Yeah.
It's based on a true story, so you know what's going to happen because, well, if you know the news story, I guess. But then it's got this really interesting middle bit, which is like I got really into. I was like, yeah, this is really good. It brought a couple of tears to my eyes. There were some emotional scenes that I was like, oh, that's great.
Yeah.
But the beginning of the film, way too long, really boring.
Yeah.
And the end of the film is like the same. They just show you a bunch of shit that you've already seen, and I didn't get why they were doing it.
That's a shame.
It is.
So,
but I am aware
that
I might be wrong here because the people I went with, one of them really enjoyed it.
Right, without spoiling it, what did the middle do differently?
Okay, right. The middle is like the first time you're seeing in the film the actual incident.
Yeah, that's what I kind of suspected. Like, you'd have the beginning would lead up to it, then you'd have the actual what happened, and then you have the aftermath, right?
No, it's not even laid out like that.
Okay.
It's all from the perspective of him afterwards.
Right.
The whole film.
Okay, got you.
It's just that they're like doing flashbacks to like, you know, you get flashbacks to the morning.
Yeah, is he sort of being like
incident.
asked about what happened and kind of being made to like justify the actions he took?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, I don't know. It was so like, you know, I'd suggest it to people that are interested. Like, I think you should go and see it.
Yeah.
If you're not that interested in real life stuff, I guess. Even though I am, that makes it sound like I'm not. But if you aren't, don't go and see it.
Out of 5?
2.5.
Okay, and where does it rank for like Tom Hanks' performances? Because he's done some cracking stuff.
Yeah, like he's good in it.
Is it up there with like Captain Phillips?
I've not seen Captain Phillips.
Oh, you need to fix that.
No, I don't.
Why not?
Because all that stuff came out where the crew were like, yeah, that's not what happened at all. Captain Phillips is a dick.
Right, but that doesn't necessarily stop the film from being good.
Yeah, but it defeats the point of the film, which was to tell a true story. No, that's fair.
No, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, like the point of that film, when that film came out, it was all like, get the story, here's the story, we're going to tell it.
Yeah,
like, obviously some stuff's going to be dramatised, but the fact that the crew came out afterwards and were like, no, that's not what happened.
Yeah, but you can't
then
watch a film like so you can't then be like, well, I'm never going to watch that film, because like, honestly, Tom Hanks gives one of the best performances I've seen, and you're just
yeah, but I'm not like you. I don't need to watch a film because an actor did good in it.
But it's
I don't remember most actors, Liam. Like,
but, Jack, most films aren't based on true stuff. So just the fact that this is it claims to be, but you're smart enough to be like, well, I know it's not. You can still then enjoy it as a film.
Yeah, but it's not even. But it does say it's based on true stuff, and then it isn't.
Well, that's what you just said it is.
Yeah, no, it's based on the true events.
Yeah,
but it's not accurate in any way.
But you can still enjoy it. You can.
But I don't want to. I don't need to. I don't need to, Liam.
But you can go in knowing those things that you know because you're so smart.
It's not because I'm smart. It's because they told us.
yeah, and you can still kind of enjoy the film.
It doesn't sound like my kind of film.
I feel like you're the sort of person, and I do not mean this offensively because I know this. There's a lot of people that are like this that kind of struggle to separate art from life. So, like, if an actor or an actress did something really bad in their real life, it would taint the way that you would view their work.
Depends on what you mean. If, like, for example,
yeah,
I don't listen to Michael Jackson music anymore. If it's on,
yeah,
I'll hear it,
exactly.
and I won't be annoyed.
You can't separate art from life.
Well, no, that's different. Music's very different to film.
Well, like, why can't you listen to Michael Jackson? That doesn't stop his songs from being good.
No, it doesn't. But I don't need to listen to them and give money to the whoever owns his estate now.
But I mean, if you just listen on Spotify, you're not really giving them money, are you?
No, you are. You bump up their listens, and they can then afford. Spotify will pay them based on their whatever.
But that's now going to someone who hopefully isn't a paedophile since he's...
Yes, but they're making the money from someone who was potentially a paedophile.
Right. So
it's like if you went back. So
Yep.
Are you saying that you'd happily go back and watch like the entire series of Jim Will Fix It?
I mean, if it was a good show, like
Well,
okay,
from everything I've heard of kids in that era, Liam, everyone seemed to love Jim Will Fix It, except the people he was diddling backstage.
So let's put this in more realistic terms. Let's take
I mean, that's no. That is realistic because that's a real man who did a real show who was a real paedophile.
Yeah, but I'm not going to go back and watch the episodes because it's not my sort of TV show.
All right, go on. What's your more realistic version?
Let's just take let's say, as just hypothetically, we have to make this very clear. Let's say hypothetically that, say, Kiefer Sutherland was incredibly naughty and did something really bad, okay?
Right.
I'm not going to stop enjoying, like, 24, Stand By Me, The Lost Boys, because of that.
No, right.
That's insane.
I'm not saying that... No, like I said, Michael Jackson did do good music. I'm not dissing his music, but I don't listen to it anymore.
That's insane.
So if Kiefer Sutherland had done something naughty...
Yeah.
Right? I'd go, well, I still really like whatever, these films.
But I'm
probably not going to watch them again. That's not an inability to separate art from life.
So, okay, here's my question then. Let's say Kiefer Sutherland had done a very good film that you hadn't seen, okay? Like, have you seen The Lost Boys?
Yeah, it's a good film.
Okay, that's just a film on that level that you hadn't seen, and you learnt that information about that person. Would you then be like, I can't watch that film now?
It's not a case of I can't, it's I don't want to.
See, that to me is mental.
Right, okay. So this is going to sound a little bit extreme.
Okay.
But this sort of makes sense to me. You know, I like doing my slightly over-the-top, exaggerated comparisons. Yeah. Right, so, say there's an art museum, like a legit art museum.
Yeah.
And there's a man in the real world who kills people, Liam, but then he turns their skin into beautiful tapestries.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Are you saying that you'd like to go and see them? Or would you be like, well, that's horrible. Those are people that he killed. I don't want to help fund a serial killer. Say he hadn't been caught, I guess.
Well, I think that's the difference. If he hasn't been caught, that's really weird.
Yeah, it's weird that the art museum has them if he hasn't been caught.
Yeah. Like, if it's someone that has been caught, okay, but it is
okay, still... well, he puts them online.
I see where you're coming with this, because it is an exaggerated thing.
It is really exaggerated.
Genuinely, if it appealed to my taste, right, if for whatever reason he drew like a wonderful picture of like a teenager in American high school having a great time,
but it was drawn on human flesh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wouldn't be like, oh, I can't look at that because the backstory behind it isn't nice.
Oh, okay. Well, see, I don't think I'm weird then, for my views.
Like,
I don't think you're weird either.
Yeah, no, exactly.
I'm just clarifying that I don't think me not wanting to watch shit that a paedophile has done. How did we get onto this subject?
I can't remember. Back to...
We were talking about Sully! It's a 2 out of 5.
And this
I
is
didn't really enjoy it.
It's down to 2 out of 5 now.
No, I said 2.5. Sorry, 2.5.
Okay. I did one other thing this week.
Okay.
My local comic book shop, as regular listeners will know, I'll go there for D&D. They've started a new campaign now on a different night. So D&D is still going. It's going great. Thank you for asking.
No problem.
What?
I said no problem. You said thanks for asking.
Yeah, you're welcome. We started Call of Cthulhu now.
Okay, yeah. I've always wanted to play this.
Yeah, so the way we're doing it, we've got 2 characters each. It's a new group that I'm with as well. Like, one of the guys is the same, but it's other new people, and it's the same sort of DM. We have 2 characters, but we haven't introduced the second characters to the thing yet, because apparently with a thing like this, it's so easy for your characters to die that it's kind of a good idea to have a backup ready.
Right, got you.
So I have a private eye as my main character, whose name is Dick Deeply.
Yep.
Because obviously, if you want someone to dig up the dirt on someone, you want them to dig deeply. So why not go for Dick Deeply?
Very, very good, Liam.
Thank you very much. So yeah, he's fine. One of his first rolls on a D100, he rolled a natural 1, which in like D&D would be terrible, but in Cthulhu you want to roll low because you're always trying to roll under your score.
Oh, okay.
So that's like the best roll you can get. So I initially, like in my head, this guy was like just the worst private eye ever. Had to change that a bit when he starts rolling natural 1s.
Jesus, Liam, that's not how it works.
Like, no, suddenly he's really good. Like, he's still pretty terrible, to be fair.
I don't get why you change a character from a dice roll, because rolling a nat 20 in D&D, right?
Yeah.
That's not my character's so good that he did something incredible.
No, but if you're like a bit
Like,
of
an
terrible...
archer could fire... Like, if someone was playing a clumsy character and then was like, I shoot my bow and got a natural 20, you just be like, yeah, he flukily hits someone right in the eye.
Yeah,
it's
this
incredible.
is what's happening with this guy. He's not very good, but like now and again he'll get quite lucky.
Yeah, okay.
And then my secondary character is a field researcher. Now, initially, it was going to be a woman, but I was told we're not doing gender swapping, so it had to be a man. She was going to be called Fanny Feelgood.
Of course.
Had to change that, though, to Francis Feelgood. Basically...
just a quick question.
Yeah.
This is set in the, like, H.P. Lovecraftian universe, right?
It's set in 1920s.
But is it like, it's the H.P... It's Call of Cthulhu.
Yeah. But it's set in our world, so like we're currently in London doing stuff.
Yeah, well, I think H.P. Lovecraft stuff was based in our world.
Yeah.
But, I mean, those aren't particularly Lovecraftian names.
No, I'm bringing an element of sort of James Bond to proceedings, if you will.
Yeah, okay.
And yeah, so Francis, you get to specialise in 3 sciences, and I'm going to just see if you can figure out what kind of angle I'm going for with this character. When the 3 sciences he specialises in are archaeology, natural history, and I think the other one was geology.
Yeah.
Any ideas?
What, as in, like, sort of who he's...
Based off of. Who's he's inspired by.
Is it Indiana Jones?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gave him... I asked if I could have, like, a special whip skill. Turns out I can.
Of course you can.
So he's good with a whip as well. Doesn't like snakes.
That's a surprise.
So yeah, so far, like, I've only done one. We're doing this like campaign called the Orient Express.
Oh, okay.
We haven't quite got to the Orient Express yet, but it's going really good so far. I'm super enjoying it. What I like is, you know, like with D&D, it's all like fantastical, and you kind of can be a bit silly and like make up your own sort of like stuff.
Yeah.
This, obviously, it being set in like London, you know, in like 1920s London. If we want to go and investigate something, we have to go to like the British Library or something, you know.
Yeah.
So I kind of like that it's grounded in that realism, and we haven't quite got to the stage yet where the real like occult stuff started to happen. So I'm kind of looking forward to seeing how that is like slipped into the story.
Yeah. How does it work? Does it have like a combat system still? Do you fight things?
I honestly don't know. I basically know that the main mechanic that we've had to use so far is you have a sanity number.
Yes.
And if you see something that's really messed up, you have to roll for sanity, and even if you pass your roll, you will still lose 1 sanity point.
Fair enough.
And obviously, like I say, because you're trying to roll lower, the more messed up stuff you get, the harder it's going to get to pass that sanity roll.
Yeah.
So it's a really nice system. I like the way it's all set up. Like, you do have stats and stuff, like strength and whatnot, so I imagine... you do have weapon skills, like guns, shotguns, hand-to-hand combat, so I imagine there can be combat. I just don't know if like a fucking old god is going to appear that we can just start punching it in the face.
Yeah, I'd assume not. That tends to not be the Lovecraftian method of dealing with
I'm feeling like
gods.
Combat is going to be less important than like using...
Well, you'll probably fight the cultists and stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
And like Yog-Sothoth minions.
Yeah, so I'm really looking forward to just like seeing how this plays out. At the moment, I'm fascinated just by the story that's being told.
Yeah, yeah.
I if you ever get the chance, I would recommend.
Oh yeah, no, I really want to.
Yeah, definitely. And that's it for catching up with for me.
Yep, I think that's me done as well.
Sweet. I hope you all enjoyed that then.